Have you ever felt so in sync with someone that you could practically finish their sentences? Well, what if you could share a dream? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a movie. But today we're going to dive into the absolutely fascinating science that asks, is it actually possible for two minds to meet in the dream world? So this is the big one, right? The core question. We've all had those weird moments. You and a friend dream about the same song on the same night. We usually just laugh it off as a wild coincidence. But what if it's not? What if, under a very specific set of conditions, two totally separate brains could genuinely connect while dreaming? You know, there's this old Persian saying that just perfectly captures that gut feeling of a deep, unseen connection. For centuries, ideas like this were really just for poets and philosophers. But now, and this is the incredible part, science is actually trying to catch up, trying to frame this very feeling in the tough language of physics and psychology. Okay, so to really get a grip on where we are now, we've got to go back a bit. The first major scientific crack at explaining this whole thing happened back in 2014, with a model that really laid some crucial groundwork for everything that came after. The basic idea back then was actually pretty straightforward. Dreaming was seen as this three-step dance. First, you get stimulation, all the inputs from your day. Then your brain processes all that stuff against your memories. And finally, boom, it projects it all out as the dream you experience. Simple enough, right? But here's where it gets really specific. The model said, look, for a dream to be shared, 5 things had to line up perfectly. Now, the first 2 kind of make sense. You both have a common, powerful experience, and you both have these deep, almost hardwired memories. But it's the next 3, these things they called convergences, that's where things get really, really interesting. And get this, because this is where the theory gets wild. Convergence in time had nothing to do with watches or clocks. It was the idea that the neural networks in 2 separate brains could start vibrating at the exact same frequency. The theory was they could literally lock in phase, their brainwaves dancing to the same beat, possibly across physical distance. So that 2014 model was a great first step, but it was missing some key pieces. The latest thinking gives us this new tool. It's kind of like a Rosetta Stone for the mind. It says we need to look at any mental event through 3 fundamental dimensions. The first dimension is form, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's the physical stuff, the hardware of your brain. We're talking about the actual anatomy, the wiring of your neural circuits, and even the literal physical shape of a memory trace that's been etched into your brain's structure. Okay, so if form is the hardware, then next up is motion. That's the activity, the electricity, the action running on it. This is all about the dynamics, the signals firing, the waves of energy propagating through the brain tissue. It's the constant flow and change that makes the brain a living, breathing organ. And finally, we have the third dimension, continuum. And honestly, this is where the magic happens. It's not just parts, it's the integrated, holistic experience where everything comes together. Your sense of self, the feeling of consciousness, the meaning you find in things, all of that lives at the level of the continuum. Now that we have this amazing 3-dimensional framework, form, motion, and continuum, we can bring in our 2 lead detectives on the case. 2 powerful but totally different theories that are trying to solve this shared dream puzzle. All right, our first detective is psi theory. Think of this one as the psychologist in the room. It's all about the why of our thoughts. It's a model that explains how our emotions, our goals, our drives, how they create this feeling of urgency that steers our thinking. In a dream, this would be that underlying unresolved feeling that's shaping the whole story. And then you have our second detective, KBA theory. And this one is, wow, it's from a whole different planet. It's a physics model. It says, forget the brain as a computer. Think of it like a thick jello, a viscoelastic material. In this view, a thought isn't just a signal, it's a physical wave of tension, what they call strain, that literally moves through your brain tissue, just like a ripple in a pond. So you see, right? The key thing here is that they're coming at this from completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Psi theory starts up high with abstract ideas like motivation and feelings, using concepts like information loops. KBA theory starts way down at the ground level with material science and physics, talking about physical waves of strain, 2 totally different languages trying to describe the very same thing. So now let's put it all together. Let's map these 2 detectives onto our 3D framework. KBA, the physics model, is the ground level expert. It totally owns form and motion. It's describing the physical brain and all the physical activity within it. And psi theory? It operates at the very highest level, explaining that integrated experience, the meaning, the feeling, the continuum. And this is where it all clicks into place. By using this 3D framework, we can combine these two seemingly opposite theories, and what we get is a brand new, way more powerful model for how a shared dream could actually be possible. It's not one or the other, it's how they fit together. And here it is, the absolute core of the new model. It says that for a shared dream to happen, it's not enough for just one thing to sync up. No way. You need a perfect, simultaneous convergence across all three dimensions: form, motion, and continuum, all at the same time. So what does that actually look like? Well, convergence in form means both brains have stored a shared memory in a physically similar way, like they have the same blueprint. Convergence in motion means those physical ripples of thought start moving in sync at the same frequency. And convergence in continuum, that means they are both caught up in the exact same emotional vibe, the same unresolved feeling that's driving the story of the dream. And that's the beautiful partnership here, you see. It all fits. Psi theory explains the subjective part, the what it feels like to be in the dream. That's the continuum. And KBA provides the actual physical mechanism, that how it could physically happen through the resonance of the brain's form and motion. So let's take a step back. What's the big picture here? What does all this really mean? Well, this new integrated model basically pulls the idea of shared dreaming out of the realm of pure fantasy and plants it firmly in the world of theoretical physics and real psychology. The huge takeaway here is that if this model is pointing us in the right direction, then shared dreaming isn't some kind of paranormal magic. It's a potential form of deep resonance, a rare, for sure, but physically plausible event where two brains, because of a shared history, shared memories, and shared emotion, manage to achieve this incredible synchronized convergence across their structure, their dynamics, and their meaning. And that just leaves us with this incredible, mind-bending question to chew on. If our most private, most personal experiences, our very thoughts, our dreams, are actually grounded in physical movements and tensions that can, under the right conditions, resonate with another person, what does that really suggest about the true nature of human connection, and maybe about the nature of consciousness itself?